Hey movie lovers! I'm Emily, and this is Movie Companion. For this episode, we're taking a deep dive into Predestination, a film that twists time travel into something truly unforgettable. Predestination is a 2014 science fiction drama directed by the Spierig brothers, Michael and Peter Spierig, who also co-wrote the screenplay. It's based on the classic short story, All You Zombies by Robert A. Heinlein. The film stars Ethan Hawke as the mysterious temporal agent, alongside Sarah Snook, whose performance absolutely steals the show, and Noah Taylor in a key supporting role. In this video, I'll be giving you a full recap of the plot, so yes, major spoiler alert, and then we'll dive into a review of the film's themes, performances, and that mind-blowing twist ending. Whether you've seen it before or are just curious about all the buzz, stick around, because this is one time travel movie you don't want to miss. Let's go! The setup. The story kicks off in March 1975 with a temporal agent trying to stop the notorious Fizzle bomber in New York City. Things go south. A gunfight erupts, the bomb detonates, and the agent is severely burned. An unseen figure helps him activate his time travel device, sending him back to his base in 1992. The mission is a bust. The bomber got away and is predicted to cause massive casualties later. Back at the Temporal Bureau, the agent recovers, but facial reconstruction and vocal cord damage leave him physically changed. His superiors, citing the toll of extensive time travel, force him into retirement. He's also secretly diagnosed with psychosis and depression. The opening throws us right into the action and establishes the high stakes and the personal cost of the agent's job. The unseen helper adds a layer of mystery from the get-go. The physical and psychological damage isn't just cosmetic, it foreshadows the deeper identity issues at play. His forced retirement feels less like a reward and more like being cast aside after being used up. The Bartender and the Storyteller. For his final mission, the agent goes undercover as a bartender in 1970 New York. He strikes up a conversation with a customer, John, who writes confession stories under the pen name The Unmarried Mother. The agent remarks, "I have to admit I've had a few dark nights when I've looked to you for a little insight into the feminine mind. You've got a real hit on the woman's angle." John cryptically replies, "Yeah, I know the woman's angle. I should." After some prodding and a bet involving a bottle of whiskey, John begins to tell his unbelievable life story. This bar scene is the narrative heart. The agent, weary and on his last mission, encounters someone whose life story is far stranger than any fiction he might write. The dialogue about the woman's angle is dripping with foreshadowing. The bet adds a light touch but underscores the agent's manipulation. He's not just there for a drink. He's working an angle. Jane's story, The Unmarried Mother. John reveals he was born female and named Jane, abandoned at a Cleveland orphanage in 1945. Jane was exceptionally smart and strong but considered plain and remained unadopted, feeling like an outcast. "I knew something was different about me," she recalled. Her unique traits attracted the attention of a man named Robertson, who recruited her for Space Corp, supposedly a program providing female companions for astronauts. During testing, a medical exam revealed an issue, but Robertson hid this, rejecting her under false pretenses but promising future enlistment. In 1963, Jane met and fell deeply in love with a mysterious man. "He was the first man who was nice to me without playing games," she said. But he vanished one day, leaving her heartbroken. Soon after, Robertson reappeared, revealing Space Corp was a front for a secret agency, the Temporal Bureau, seeking unique individuals with no ties. Jane was disqualified again. She was pregnant. Jane's early life is a poignant tale of alienation and resilience. Her intelligence and strength, traits often lauded in men, make her an outcast as a woman. Space Corp's premise is darkly amusing and cynical, using women as mere R&R. Robertson's repeated manipulation highlights the Bureau's calculating nature. The whirlwind romance feels both like a lifeline and a setup for inevitable pain. The transformation and loss. Giving birth required a C-section, during which doctors discovered Jane was intersex, possessing underdeveloped organs of both sexes. Complications necessitated a hysterectomy, and the surgeons performed reconstructive surgery, transitioning Jane into a man. "You had 2 full sets of organs, Jane. Female and male," the doctor explained. Amidst this turmoil, her newborn baby girl, whom she'd named Jane, was abducted from the hospital nursery by an unknown man. Recovering and adopting the name John, he moved to New York, filled with resentment for the lover who had unknowingly set this chain of events in motion. This is the crux of the tragedy and the story's central twist. The reveal of Jane's intersex condition is shocking, compounded by the forced transition and the immediate, cruel loss of her child. The dialogue with the doctor is clinical yet devastating. Naming the baby Jane creates the first loop in the audience's mind. John's transformation is physical, but the emotional scars run deeper, fueling his bitterness. The setup and the paradox. Hearing John's story, the agent, who already knew his name was John, makes an offer. "What if I could put him in front of you? The man that ruined your life. Would you kill him?" In exchange for this revenge, John must take the agent's place at the bureau. The agent reveals he works for Robertson and the Temporal Bureau, using a time machine disguised as a violin case. He takes John back to Cleveland, 1963, instructing him where to find Jane. John meets his past self, Jane, and realizes with horror that he is the man who Jane fell in love with, the man who ruined her life. He falls in love with her anyway. The agent, meanwhile, makes an unauthorized jump to 1975 to try and catch the Fizzle bomber again, fails, and witnesses his past self getting burned, even helping him reach his device. Robertson excuses this deviation. The agent's true mission unfolds. He travels back to 1964, abducts baby Jane from the hospital, and takes her to the orphanage in 1945. He then returns to 1963 to ensure John leaves Jane at the correct time, completing the loop and recruiting John into the bureau. Jane, John, and the baby are all the same person, existing in a closed loop, a predestination paradox. Robertson tells the agent, now revealed as John, "You're a gift given to the world through a predestination paradox, free from history, ancestry." The reveal that John is Jane's lover is the story's mind-bending core. The agent isn't offering revenge. He's ensuring the past happens exactly as it did. John's horror turning into love for his past self is strangely touching and deeply disturbing. The agent's actions, abducting the baby, ensuring the heartbreak, are cold but framed as necessary by the Bureau's logic. Robertson's speech positions the agent / John not as a person, but as a tool, an anomaly created by and for the Bureau's purpose. The phrase, "the snake that eats its own tail," forever and ever becomes chillingly literal. The final loop, becoming the bomber. The agent retires to New York in 1975, just before the big attack. His time device fails to decommission. Robertson gives him coordinates pointing to the Fizzle bomber. Confronting him, the agent finds the bomber is his own future self. This older version claims his bombing saved more lives by preventing worse future disasters and blames Robertson for orchestrating everything. "I made you who you are. You made me who I am." It's a paradox, right? The bomber taunts. He urges the agent to join him, to break the cycle by not killing him, refusing to become the monster he hunted, vowing, "I will never become you." The agent shoots and kills his future self. The camera shows the surgical scars on the agent's body, confirming the entire causal loop. Jane became John, who became the agent, who became the Fizzle bomber, killed by his past self, who is destined to become him. Robertson seemingly engineered this entire existence. The agent is left contemplating his inescapable fate. The final confrontation is the ultimate tragic irony. The agent hunts the bomber only to find he's hunting himself. The bomber's justification, preventing worse futures, echoes the Bureau's own rationale, blurring the lines between hero and villain. The bomber's plea to love me, again, instead of killing him, is a desperate, twisted appeal based on their shared past/identity. By killing his future self to avoid becoming him, the agent ensures he will become him. It's a perfect, inescapable trap orchestrated by time itself, or perhaps by Robertson. The final shot of the scars confirms the Ouroboros nature of his existence. He is his own creator and destroyer. Predestination is one of those rare films that juggles intricate sci-fi mechanics with deeply human storytelling. It's part noir, part existential thriller, and part philosophical rabbit hole. Based on Robert Heinlein's short story All You Zombies, the film boldly embraces its paradoxes, never flinching, even when the plot feels like a Mobius strip. It's stylish and stripped down at once. The muted color palette gives it a nostalgic touch, even as the story leaps across decades. And while some might find the pacing of the first act slow, that quiet tension is exactly what makes the explosive second and third acts hit so hard. The film asks a lot from its audience. It doesn't explain everything, nor does it need to. Like a puzzle box, it demands to be watched more than once. Each rewatch reveals something new, a line of dialogue, a glance, a gesture you didn't catch before. To quote one reviewer, "This movie isn't trying to trick you. It's showing its hand. You just don't know how to read it yet." And that's the magic of Predestination, not just the twist, but the way it challenges the very idea of what a twist even is. It's not about the gotcha moment. It's about the slow, creeping realization that every piece of the story was always leading you back to yourself. A paradox wrapped in a gritty noir riddle. This film doesn't just spend time. It twists it into an intricate, self-devouring loop that challenges notions of identity, fate, and causality itself. It starts deceptively simply. A world-weary bartender meets a patron with an unbelievable story, a confession writer known as the Unmarried Mother. What unfolds from this smoky, noir-tinged conversation is one of the most mind-bending narratives committed to film, a journey through a life lived, unlived, and relived in ways that defy easy explanation. Based on Heinlein's famously perplexing All You Zombies, the plot follows a temporal agent on his final mission, which involves recruiting the storyteller he meets in the bar. The storyteller's tale, beginning life as Jane, an intelligent but overlooked orphan, her brief, impactful romance, the shocking medical discovery of being intersex after childbirth, the transition into John, and the abduction of the baby, is heartbreaking and bizarre even before the time travel element fully kicks in. The film masterfully uses this extended flashback, heavy on dialogue and character, to ground the audience in the emotional reality of its protagonist before shattering that reality. The brilliance lies in how the temporal mechanics aren't just a gimmick, but are intrinsically woven into the protagonist's very existence. Jane/John is revealed to be trapped in a predestination paradox, quite literally becoming their own mother, father, and child. The agent's mission isn't just recruitment. It's the meticulous, perhaps callous, construction of this closed loop, ensuring every joy and trauma happens exactly as fated. The snake that eats its own tail, forever and ever, as one character puts it, becomes the film's haunting visual metaphor. Performances are key to selling such a complex tale. The actor playing the agent, referred to as the second John in some analyses, brings a necessary gravitas and weariness to a man literally haunted by his past and future selves. But the standout is undoubtedly the actor portraying Jane and John, navigating incredible emotional and physical transformations with astonishing range and conviction. From the vulnerability of young Jane to the cynicism of John, it's a tour de force that anchors the film's wild concepts. Is it confusing? Absolutely. It demands the audience's full attention and rewards, or perhaps requires, repeat viewings to fully grasp the intricate plotting. Yet it's rarely less than compelling. The film doesn't shy away from the darker implications of its premise. exploring themes of inescapable destiny, the loneliness of a life unbound by normal lineage, and the potential monstrosity born from trying to control or escape fate, culminating in the final, chilling confrontation with the Fizzle Bomber. While the deliberate pacing of the middle section might test some, it's essential for building the character depth needed for the later revelations to land with impact. This is intelligent, ambitious science fiction that uses its temporal paradox not just for twists, but to explore profound questions about what makes us who we are. It's a challenging, dark, and ultimately unforgettable cinematic experience. That wraps up this episode of Movie Companion. If you've enjoyed it, please follow or subscribe so you never miss what's next. I'd love to hear your thoughts or recommendations. Feel free to share them. Thanks for spending some time with me, and I'll catch you in the next one.